Greetings, parents. My name is Mr. Hoskins, and I will be your son or daughter's advanced placement modern world history teacher this year up at the high school. Although it was an unusual and challenging start because of COVID and remote learning, I promise we will make the best of it and we will have an awesome and thrilling academic year nonetheless. So let's look at the syllabus briefly. So for the course description, it's going to be 1200 to the present. It's a lot to cover in a short amount of time, but we'll do it. Right now, students are learning a little bit of, the things that are up to 1200 CE briefly, kind of a rehash of what they learned in junior high so that they can put this history in context. They divide it up into periods, and we'll look at that in a little bit more detail when I show you the curriculum guide. The textbook, Traditions and Encounters, students should have that textbook, also a 3-ring binder and document volumes 1 and 2. This right here, we'll move to, this is my philosophy of the course of a classroom in general, is that above all, the classroom should be a place where all students can discover, create, express themselves, and feel safe in an environment that is conducive to learning. So I want to make sure that students, they learn a lot, they feel safe, that they can voice their opinion should an historical issue come up or a controversial issue in world history, that they can say their opinion, back it up with evidence, look at sources from multiple places, and come to some conclusions. The classroom rules and procedures and consequence, students know that they should have given this to you. If they did not show the syllabus to you, then please email me. I'll be happy to send an additional copy to you. The virtual classroom and Zoom expectations, just briefly, so that students know how to do Zoom, what to expect, what a Zoom meeting is like, how to participate, and so forth. How to turn in assignments, still students to turn in assignments at Hoskins at cabrillo.k12.ca.us. Pretty much that's the end all be all. Anything that students or parents send to that address will get to me. Although I'm trying to move a little bit closer to the Google Classroom, and I've already sent out forms and questions and things like that, that I send instructions to School Loop so that students will know how to do the Google Classroom. So I'm eventually going to move closer and closer to the Google Classroom, but all assignments, everything will be posted on School Loop throughout the year. So that will be the safe place to go to. And joining in School Loop. And office hours, pretty much anytime I'm not during the school day where I'm not doing video with students, will be my hours. Students can request a time to meet via Zoom, or they can email me and I'll make sure that I get back to them in a timely manner, and parents as well. So let's now look at the curriculum guide. Okay, this is, and if you just type in in Google, for instance, AP Modern World curriculum guide, it'll pop up for you if you want to look at this in the future. I can even send a link to you via the students. But this is a big tome. It's about 200 pages, and it describes the skills that we teach, the historical skills. Let me move to that. Course framework, right here, historical thinking skills and reasoning processes. And it gives you charts such as claims of evidence, context, making connections, all the things that apprentice historians would have the skills to know. And then it details here these reasoning processes. And then it goes into course content. You can see what percentage weight each section goes into: the global tapestry, pretty much bringing everything together, and exchange, networks of exchange, and then ultimately transoceanic interconnections, especially when the New World was quote unquote discovered. revolutions, consequences, all the way to globalization in the present. So this gives you an exam weighting, and that's roughly about how much time we'll spend in each topic. And it goes through themes that run through history, like our interaction with the environment. How do people govern? What are gender relations like? Who's at the top of society? Who's at the bottom? How did technology affect us? And so forth. Trade. And then it goes into a little bit more detail, course at a glance, about the things we'll be looking at and the themes that are processed. Then if you go further, then it will show you, and maps, of course, students need to know. We're at the global tapestry, for instance. Once we get here, it'll give you at a glance, but then it will show you more specifically the things that the AP people wish for students to know. And that's what we'll be covering. A lot of this stuff, you can see the illustrative examples that we'll be talking about in class, learning objectives, and so forth. So you can look at that on your own, and but this is just an example of the stuff that we'll be covering in class. So I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to, I've written down a few things that I want to make sure that students have some of these minimum skills by the time they leave my class. Okay, so my personal goal, of course, is to not only help students pass the AP exam, but also to have above all, have a great history course, regardless of the exam. So those two goals will run parallel to one another. And so California standards will be addressed as we go through it. The curriculum is big. There's a lot to cover, but we do it every year. As a matter of fact, we used to have to cover more of it when the curriculum was different. Right now, the AP class is in, going into Roman times. We'll be getting to Roman interclassical things, so you can ask your students a little bit about Greece if you want, things that I wanted students to remember about that. But remember, this is more foundational. It's just the brushing up what we're doing now. There's a lot of reading, and literacy is emphasized, but that's the nature of history. I'll be happy, help out any student who is having any trouble with the reading. It's a lot. We can do it. But another skill that I want students to have is not just essay skills. So students will really have to emphasize their writing, and I want to emphasize writing in the class. It is a writing emphasis course, but also how to read a newspaper, so that when students get out of here, that they'll know enough about world history, so that if they read in a newspaper or an online news source, say, hey, something's going on in Kenya, or something's going on in the Middle East or East Asia, that they will know enough about world history to have background knowledge to find out, well, why is Africa having some issues with keeping their natural resources today? Is it, what is China's interest in Africa? A whole bunch of things that can come up that students will say, oh yeah, that's why. Okay, there was imperialism in Africa once upon a time, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so students have their Chromebooks. Okay, student expectations, the usual stuff, to be on time with the Zoom and so forth. Now, some other things are mainly with a physical classroom, but so I'll just get to the AP test. It does cost a little bit of cashola. So if money is a little bit tight in the family, students can apply for grants or reduced fees with the counselors when that time comes. So if money is a little bit tight, and I think students this year have to pony up by about November, if I'm not mistaken. I'll keep in communication with the specifics about that. The overhead lunch grading policy. Okay, it's going to be normally just be tests, quizzes, essays, and so forth. There is a safety valve. I do allow for students who are very grade and point conscious, to relieve a little bit of pressure with a little bit of extra credit if students want to read additional books and stuff like that. But I really encourage students to see me for help if they need it. If there's any issue going on, please contact me. Uh, and for anything, any questions you may have, any concerns, and I want to work as a team, pretty much with you and you parents to really ensure that your son or daughter achieves success in academic success in my class, in school, and graduation in life. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, the best way to contact me is hoskins@cabrillo.k12.ca.us. And that is my school email address, or through School Loop, it'll get to me. So that's all I have for now. I think I covered the main things. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. So it's going to be an exciting year, and it's a privilege and an honor to be your son or daughter's teacher. So thank you, and have a fantastic day. Bye now.